Hello and welcome to the projects section on our quest to conquer freeCodeCamp in the API and microservices section. So far we learned about NPM, Node and Express, and in the last live stream we learned about Mongoose and MongoDB. And now it's time to start to look into the projects. The first project will be the timestamp microservice. But let's look at the introduction first to see what we have to deal with. Alright, time to put your newly learned skills to work. By working on projects, you would have the opportunity of applying all the skills, principles, and concepts you have learned so far, including NPM packages, basic Node, Express, Mongo, and Mongoose. In this section, you'll get the chance to build a timestamp microservice, request header parser, URL shortener, exercise tracker, and file metadata. By the end of this, you would have 5 microservices under your belt that you can show off to your friends, family, employers. Have fun and remember to use the read, search, ask method if you get stuck. Alright, let's see the first one. Build a full stack JavaScript app that is functionally similar to this. Let's see what this is about. Okay, so we need to create an API with the endpoint get, project URL API, timestamp, and date string. The date string is valid if can be successfully parsed by a new date. Note that the Unix timestamp needs to be an integer, not a string, specifying milliseconds. In our test, we will use date string compliant with ISO 8601. Okay, so this, because this will ensure an UTC timestamp. Alright. If the date string is empty, it should be equivalent to trigger new date. The service uses the current timestamp. If the date string is valid, the API returns a JSON having the structure Unix, date, get time, UTC, okay, oh, just Unix and UTC, alright. If the date string is invalid, the API returns a JSON having the structure error invalid date. Okay, example usage. We can get this and returns the Unix and the UTC. Alright. And this timestamp, we can also pass in the Unix. Alright. By freeCodeCamp. Okie dokie. Well, I guess that start the project on glitch using this link. Perfect. Let's use this link and see what is it about. Boilerplate project timestamp. Okay, in the readme we have all the fun stuff, which is nice. Do we get indexed HTML? Yeah, we get some styling, awesome, and the server. Oh, look at that, they even set up a server for us, which should make it pretty easy. Alright, let's see our app in action. Yeah, so far we have this root, we use course, some legacy browsers chuck on to 204, okay. Okay, enable course so that your API is remotely testable by freeCodeCamp. Alright. We use the public folder as express static. Alright. And we send the file, the index, on the get slash. Okay, so that's pretty nice. Your first API endpoint. API hello. Okay, we don't need that. So what we need to do, where is it? let me copy this so we can see the usage. Example. Okay, so on the API slash timestamp slash something, we want to do something. So API slash timestamp slash colon date or date string or date number. Let's just get date or something like that. All right, and then from our request params, const date from our request.params. And now we have to convert the date. Let's see. And back as the JSON, we will need to, where is it? Send this. Also, let me copy the, where were, okay, so this. All right, I want to have it there. Example, and then functions will be this. Okay. So if we don't have a date, so if date or not date, then we want to return press.json. The reason I'm using return here because we want to get out of this function. And we'll return res.json with the we need the UTC and the Unix, right? Get time and okay. So let's create the, well, we need a date. Maybe change this to string date, date string, something like that, because string. So get the date string, and then our date will be new date of date string. Right? Let's see. If we don't have, so if this is empty, we want to use an empty new date. So for that, then let's convert this to a let, and we're going to do this here. Date will be that, and here inside we're going to do date equals new date. All right, and Unix we will say date.getTime, and on date to UTC string UTC here will be date too. All right, so that should work when there's no date string provided, date string. Okay, next, if we have something, then we try to convert it. Hey Aman! Hi, welcome to the live stream. Okay, so create a new date. Now we need to check if it's a valid date. So if a date is different than null, I think, I'm not wrong, if the date is well, let's check. Let's just test this. We're going to put all the code and then we'll nicely format it. Okay, res.json. Here we want to do again the same thing. So we are repeating ourselves, which is not really nice. Okay, date, new date, date, like that. We could just remove this from here, and if date string, then date is new string, else we do this. So date will be new date, and we return the JSON. All right, let's check our app so far. So copy this and go to what was it? API timestamp. So if nothing is provided, apparently not working. So we did something wrong. API / timestamp. API / timestamp. Is that correct? Timestamp / date. So I guess we need that too. Oops. Okay, so we need to pass something. Nothing is provided. Oh, then we have another endpoint. Let's see what they say. So if the date string is empty, it should be equivalent to new date. Alright, so then we can create another endpoint just for the API / timestamp, which will get request and response, and it will just do res JSON const date new date, and we'll do this here then. Alright, so we go to timestamp. Good. Else then we don't have to check for no string because will we have, yeah, it will default to that. So we don't need to check for that anymore. And we can just do date equals new date, date string. And we just check if date is valid. It's not null, I think. Null is what returns new date if it's invalid. So if that's the case, we do something, otherwise we do something else. If it's null, we want to send an error, which was what? This Unix null and UTC invalid date. So okay, Unix null and UTC invalid date. Alright, so that should cover everything, hopefully. So if we go to /API / timestamp, we should just get the current date. Otherwise, if we have something in the date string, we create a new date. If that date is null, if it's null, sorry, this will be if it's null, then we return res.json Unix and UTC, so the error case. Otherwise, we create a Unix and UTC. So hopefully this should work. Let's see. On / we get the current time. Let me zoom in here. So the current time, okay. And then if we pass here something like 2010 0202, look at that. So now we get 2 February 2010. We can also use this Unix. Hopefully this will also work. Hey Dimitri, welcome. So the Unix is not working. That's because we have here something. A date string is valid if can be successfully parsed. Note that the Unix timestamp needs to be an integer, not a string, specifying milliseconds. So we need to check for that. If it's a Unix timestamp, we need to check, and here in our new date we need to pass that. How do we do that? If we convert this to a number from a string, we will get the number if it's a number, or we will get NaN if it's not a number, right? Let's we have here a console we can test. So let's say we have our string, which is 2010 0202, and we want to do console.log parse int string. Let's see what we get. Whoa, 2010. Not good. So we get the parsed from that. How do we check if that's a timestamp? Now that will be the challenge. Do we have a function to check if it's Or I guess I have another idea. Let's see. So we could do the both plus date thing, so convert it to a number or not. But that won't work. Interesting. So if this is that, then we'll get the number. But if it's that, then we get 2010, which is alright. Alright, so how do we find out what is? Does the timestamp has a length? Rajat, aren't you tired? I'm fine for now. I'm not sure how much it could keep up. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13. Has 13. But still. In our test, we will use date strings compliance, because this will ensure UTS timestamp. Hey Ashish. If the date string is empty, it should be equivalent like that. If the date string is valid, we should return that. If the date string is invalid, okay. Now we could also get something like 2010 0202, which should be invalid. Okay, that's it. That works. 2010 0202. That also works, which, well, it probably should. But for this, we get invalid. Okay. Where is our code? Here. So we could pass that. That's null. We can try that the other thing also. Or we could check for the length of the Unix. That would be an approach, but I'm not sure if will work for. Well, we can test here. New date with this number, it should give us that. But if we remove a 0, will it work? Oops. Yep. If we remove another 0, that one. Look at that, it still works. Yeah. So we could also check if we have a dash, but we could also don't have a dash. So that's that. I guess we could try if date is null, then date could be new date of plus date string, because it will be null for the timestamps here. If it is, then try again by converting it. If it will be again null, then send invalid. I guess this is the best so far we got, the best solution we got so far. So let's test it. Okay, so still invalid date. parseInt and date. If date is null, what is date here? Console.log date. And we do that. Invalid date. So why don't we get date? Date second. Now that's weird. Why don't we get so timestamp? It goes there for 2010 20 0202. This works, and we get that invalidate. Oh, I think that's what we get from new date. It's a string saying invalidate, so it's not null. Alright, so if the date is invalid date, and then we do that, and if again it's invalidate, we do that. Okay, let's see how this works. I don't like this the two tries here, but we need to. Yes. If you have a better solution, let me know. I'm curious to see what's the solution you got. Okay, so this should work. We should have this work also. Well, not really. 2020 0202. And now we should have a timestamp. If we copy this, this should also work. Apparently not. Why? Why? Let's so that log again. Date and also type of date. This is debugging now. And put it inside here. If it goes here, whoops. And let's also parse our date string. Hey Mohammed. Alright, so let's see. We just have the problem with the Unix now. Invalidate object. Whoa, okay. That's an object. Well, actually, let's see in the console. That will be our best debugger for now. New date of something. Invalidate. What's this invalidate? Type of object. What? Type of invalid date. Detecting an invalidate instance. Here's how I would do it. Object prototype string. Call this object date. It is a date. If is not a number, date is not valid. Else date is valid. Else not a date. Okay. Update. If you are not concerned with date objects from JS context, you can do the instance of date and is not a number, so it's a number. I guess we could try this. Instance of date and is not a number. Convert it so it is a number. Get time. We can write a function using this. Well, we have it here. It's valid date. Okay, let's try with this check, because I'm not sure if this invalidate what is it. Can just date that toString. Not sure if that will give us, it will probably give us object thing. Oh, look at that. So it worked now. Validate object. So if the toString, let's try here. New date on toString. Alright, that's perfect then. We can just do that. So if the toString is an invalidate, we can try to create a new date parsing the number. Else, again, if the toString is invalidate, we can just return is invalid. So first we try to see if it's a string, then we try if it's a Unix, and then we give up. Alright, so now this should work as expected. This should be that, it should work with 2010 0202. Alright, and slash timestamps should give us the current date. So that's it. We completed it. Okay, we had a little issue, but well, good that way. We debugged the issue. So we just need to convert this to string and see if it's invalidate. Now, let's pass this here and see, will they run for tests? Okay, should return the expected error message for an invalidate. Invalidate Unix JSON. What don't you like? If it's invalid, return else. So they have here a case scenario we're not checking. It should handle validate, correct Unix, correct UTC, valid Unix date and return the correct Unix. Should handle an empty date. Should handle empty date. Okay. It should return the expected error message for an invalid date. Can we have another invalid date but not covered by our checks here? Let's try to comment here. Tries again by converting it to Unix, from Unix, which needs to be a number. So this, let's here. Alright. Well, I guess what we can do, although I'm not sure, let's just return the invalid here also. If it's a date, well, it should go here. Else. So it shouldn't go out. It's not possible for it to go out here. Something is missing. What? Should return the expected error message. I didn't copy the error message, right? Error. Oh, error invalidate. Okay, so apparently we had it right. We just didn't do error invalidate. That's our error message. That's silly. See how we can sometimes mess it up. Alright, that's it for this little project. Let's see, next up we're going to build request header parser. Wake up and let's see, I can get the IP address, preferred language, and system infos. Alright. Good. Now for this project, well, I'm going to take a little break and start another live stream as I want these projects to be separated. So If you want to follow along for the second project, I'll be right back in 10 minutes or so. Thank you all for watching. If you have questions, let me know. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't, and tell YouTube that this is worth watching, if it is. Okay, see you soon. Bye.